7 women's outdoor shoe brands you must stop buying, and 3 that you can trust. There's a pair of hiking shoes in your closet you bought for a trip you were excited about. You picked a name you recognized, and somewhere around mile 4, on a wet rock, your foot slid. That was not you being careless. That was the shoe. A hiking shoe is built around a foot-shaped mold called a last. For 50 years, that mold has been based on male anatomy. To build the women's version, most brands take the same last, shrink it, and change the color. The industry has a name for this. Shrink it and pink it. Same engineering. Smaller box, softer color, same price, or higher. Today, we expose 7 outdoor shoe brands failing women on the trail and reveal 3 that are worth every penny. Let's begin. Number 7. Skechers. Skechers did not enter the outdoor market because they had something to offer the outdoor market. They entered it because the category is large and they already had the shelf space. That is the whole rationale. Their women's hiking line, the Trego and the ArchFit Recon, runs $80 to $130, and it is built on the same air-cooled memory foam that goes into their walking shoes. They added lugs to the bottom and called it a hiking boot. Memory foam is the specific problem here. It compresses under sustained body weight and does not spring back, which is fine when you are standing at a checkout counter, and a real issue on a trail where every step lands on uneven ground and loads the shoe sideways. The outsole is a proprietary rubber compound with no published grip data on wet rock or mud. A woman who returned a pair of Tregos said it plainly. Marketed as waterproof, gets points for style, but not designed for a hiker in the great outdoors. Another wore hers 4 times in snow and slush before the suede pilled and a seam split open. You are buying a comfortable walking shoe with an aggressive tread pattern glued underneath it. Number 6. Nordiv 8. Nordiv 8 is the best-selling hiking shoe on Amazon, and there is a reason for that. You put it on in your living room and it feels fine. Cushioned, roomy, light. You wonder why anyone would spend 3 times as much. The answer shows up around hour 2. The fit goes loose and squishy as the foam gives way. Your feet overheat because there is no real ventilation architecture in the upper, and the midsole collapses under sustained load in a way a properly engineered hiking shoe does not. At $45 to $65, the compromises are exactly what you would expect. Thin synthetic uppers with no leather reinforcement at the toe, EVA midsole foam at the lowest commercial density available, and outsole rubber with no published compound specification anywhere. On models marketed as waterproof, the membrane is a generic polyurethane bootie rather than Gore-Tex or a licensed equivalent, which means it breathes less and degrades faster than anything independently rated. For a flat, dry, well-maintained trail on a summer afternoon, these will get you home. What worries me is the woman who buys them for a trip to Utah because a blog told her she did not need to spend a fortune. Number 5. Under Armour. Under Armour builds excellent gym shoes. That is not a criticism. It is the entire point of what goes wrong here. Their women's hiking and trail line uses the same charged and micro-G cushioning systems they developed for treadmill running and weight rooms, repackaged in earth tones. Those systems are engineered for linear movement, heel to toe, in a straight line, on a surface that never changes. Trail movement is nothing like that. You are loading the shoe sideways, catching a root with the outside edge of your foot, changing direction on loose gravel. A cushioning system built for the gym compresses unevenly under those lateral loads, and it lets your foot roll inward or outward in a way a purpose-built trail midsole is specifically designed to prevent. That rolling motion is how ankles get sprained. Most of their outdoor models also have no rock plate, which means when you step on a sharp stone, that force travels straight through the foam into the ball of your foot. These run $80 to $120. At that same number, Oboz and Salomon are both giving you trail-specific midsole geometry, a rock plate, and an outsole with documented performance on wet rock. Under Armour is giving you gym engineering in a trail colorway. Number 4. Columbia. Columbia earned its reputation on jackets, and it has been spending that reputation on footwear ever since. Their Tech-Lite midsole, which runs across the entire women's outdoor line, is a lightweight EVA compound tuned for cushioning over short distances. It feels wonderful on a 2-mile test walk around the store. Independent testers have documented it losing its cushioning capacity noticeably faster than comparable midsoles from Salomon or Obaz, so the shoe that felt plush in April is a firm, flat platform by the end of the summer. The OmniGrip outsole is a proprietary rubber with no published wet grip data. On hard-packed dirt, it does the job. On wet rock and mud, which is the exact moment an outsole is supposed to earn its living, testers consistently find Columbia losing traction faster than Vibram or Contigrip. The Newton Ridge Plus, their most purchased women's hiker, sits around $100. That is the same money as the Obaz Katabatic, which publishes everything, and it is within reach of the Salomon X Ultra. Columbia is charging mid-range prices for entry-range construction, and the brand recognition you built with them through 20 years of buying their fleece is what carries the shoe out of the store. Number 3. Sorel. This one is going to be unpopular, and it needs nuance, because Sorel is not a bad company. The Caribou is a genuinely excellent snow boot. If you are shoveling a driveway in Minnesota, there is very little that beats it. The problem is what women are buying it for. Sorel has spent the last decade drifting from a winter boot company into an outdoor lifestyle brand, and the marketing now shows their boots on trails, on mountains, in exactly the places their outsoles were never engineered to go. Clever Hiker tested the Caribou with an actual traction measurement device, and it ranked below average. Their assessment was that the tread shape is relatively uniform and the material lacks grip, so the traction is distinctly average compared to a hiking-specific boot. The Out and About, which is the one you see everywhere, has shallower tread and limited traction on ice, and testers specifically flagged it as the wrong choice for muddy hikes. These sit between $130 and $200, which is real hiking shoe money. Sorel makes a beautiful boot for standing in the snow and looking like you belong in a catalog. The moment you take it onto a wet, steep, off-camber trail, you are on a fashion outsole. Number 2. Keen. Keen is going to feel unfair, so let me be precise about what the problem actually is. The Targhee is one of the most durably built hiking shoes you can buy. The outsole and the upper are fused without glue, which eliminates delamination, and delamination is the single most common way a budget hiking shoe dies. The midsole foam resists compression, and independent testing backs that up. If you have wide feet, and a lot of women do, Keen's roomy toe box is a genuine relief after years of being squeezed into narrow lasts. The shoe is built to last. The problem is the category Keen sells it into. The Targhee is the heaviest shoe in its class, documented by multiple independent testers, and it is not close. Switchback Travel dropped the Targhee 4 from their 2026 women's list entirely, saying it simply did not stand out from the competition. Keen also uses its own proprietary outsole rather than Vibram, with no published grip data across wet and dry conditions. You are paying around $140 for a heavy, durable shoe that is marketed to you as a lightweight, versatile hiker. If you want durability above everything, it is a legitimate pick. If you want to move well, that weight is a tax you pay on every step, for every mile. Number 1. Merrell. I know, this is the one that stings. The Moab is the most purchased hiking shoe in America and the most popular shoe on the Appalachian Trail. If you have hiked at all in the last 15 years, you have owned a pair and you probably love them. That trust is not fake. Merrell earned it over decades of building shoes that simply worked. The problem is the midsole, and it has been named specifically. Testers at Treeline Review found that the footbed and midsole on the Moab Speed 2 lost cushion over time. The Moab uses a standard EVA midsole without the density modification or TPU content that premium competitors build in, which means the cushioning compresses faster under sustained trail use. A shoe that feels supportive at 100 miles feels measurably flatter at 400. Morel rates the Moab for 600 to 700 miles, which is an honest number, but the cushioning starts failing you well before you reach it. Testers also consistently note that the Moab 3 struggles on muddy trails, lacks support along the collar and tongue, and is one of the heaviest shoes on the list. The current Moab Speed 2 GTX is $140. At that exact price, the Salomon X Ultra 5 holds its cushioning profile longer and grips better when the rock is wet. Now, if this is saving you money, hit subscribe. We take apart overpriced outdoor gear and show you what is actually worth buying every single week. And yes, that is 7 brands, either using the wrong engineering for the terrain, hiding their outsole specifications, or charging you premium prices for foam that flattens out before the season ends. Now, here are 3 that are worth every penny. All 3 publish the one specification that every brand on the avoid list refuses to print, and the third one costs less than you would guess, which is exactly why most women scroll past it. Number 3, worth every penny, Obaz. Obaz was founded in 2007 in Bozeman, Montana, for one reason: to make hiking footwear. Not athletic shoes repositioned for the trail, not winter boots wearing a hiking costume. Hiking shoes built for hiking from the ground up. The Katabatic LT Low GTX is the one to know. It uses ACTEVA cushioning, a compound engineered specifically for trail loads rather than borrowed from a running line, a Gore-Tex Invisible Fit waterproof membrane, and Obaz's own Trail Tread rubber outsole. Treeline Review calls it the standout for unbeatable waterproofing with a modern, athletic feel, and notes it delivers far more than just keeping your feet dry. Here is the detail I find most telling. Obaz sells its insole separately, so you can put it in a pair of shoes that are not Obaz. A brand that is confident in its product does that. A brand that is protecting a weakness does not. On the trail, the aggressive tread bites through loose debris, and the softer compound gives you real confidence on steep, slabby stone, which is the exact terrain where most women slow down and start second-guessing their feet. It runs around $155 to $165. Every specification is published, the outsole compound is documented, and the waterproofing is Gore-Tex. Number 2, worth every penny, Salomon. The Salomon X Ultra 5 GTX is the top overall pick for women's hiking shoes in 2026, and it is not one publication saying so. Treeline Review, Clever Hiker, Gear Junkie, and Switchback Travel all landed in the same place independently, praising its balance of support, protection, and versatility. When 4 separate testing teams, hiking different trails in different states, arrive at the same shoe, that is not marketing, that is a result. The Contagrip outsole is the reason. Salomon developed that rubber compound through years of trail running and mountain racing, where a slip on wet rock cost somebody a podium, and its grip performance on wet and dry surfaces has been documented in race conditions for a very long time. The X Ultra 5 gives you the lightweight feel of a trail runner with the stability of a real hiking shoe. The Gore-Tex membrane handles waterproofing and breathability to a certified standard, and the chassis builds in torsional support without loading you down with weight. It runs around $175. One note worth knowing before you buy: Salomon runs narrow. If you have a wide foot, size accordingly, or look at the Obaz, because the best engineered shoe in the world is worthless if it does not fit your foot. Number 1, worth every penny, Loa. Loa was founded in Bavaria in 1923, and the Renegade has been in continuous production long enough to build a field record across mountain guides, alpine rescue teams, and military units across Europe. That is not a marketing claim. That is 100 years of the same people buying the same boot because it keeps bringing them home. The Renegade Evo GTX uses a nubuck leather upper, and the leather is the decision that separates it from everything synthetic. Leather conforms to your foot over time. It takes the shape of your arch, your bunion, the way you actually walk, and it gets more comfortable the longer you own it. Synthetic uppers do the opposite. They break down and give out. The outsole is Vibram, with grip performance that has been documented for decades. The lining is Gore-Tex. Loa publishes its manufacturing standards and holds ISO 9001 certification with independent annual auditing of its production processes, which almost nobody in this industry does. It runs around $230, and I want to be honest that this is real money. That number buys nubuck leather, a Vibram outsole, Gore-Tex waterproofing, and a century of mountain engineering behind every single component decision. Spread across the years, you will own it. It is the cheapest shoe on this list. So before you spend another dollar, do one thing for me. Flip the shoe over and find out what the outsole is actually made of. If the brand will not tell you, you already have your answer. The trail does not care whose name is on the side of your shoe. It only cares whether the rubber holds when the rock is wet. Now, I want to hear from you. What are you hiking in right now, and how many miles are on them? Drop it in the comments, and let us see where your pair actually lands on this list.